Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Capnclyde's MTG, and today in the investment market value of boxes and sets, we're going to talk about Forgotten Realms. That's right, D&D. We're going to go over all three boxes, how they've been standing up, and what they look like today. So, before we get started, remember, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, put some comments down below to feed that YouTube algorithm as we try to get to 1,000 subscribers. So, if you've done everything you can to hit like the subscribe button and get people to watch, you can always hit in the description. There are links to the Patreon, the eBay page where all the box opening series cards go up for sale, and my personal email if you want to reach out and have a discussion about something or put in something that you might want to see a video on. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, as you all know, Dungeons and Dragons: Adventures into Forgotten Realms was a highly anticipated Magic the Gathering set with the new ability to have what you would call a venture into the dungeon mechanic, where you get to do these different things and venture into the dungeon. It was actually really cool. It was very on par, and it was also just amazing to see all our D&D faves come to life inside a Magic set. Now, with that said, um, honestly, it didn't do very well. A lot of people didn't like the dice rolling mechanic. Some people did. Thought it was really cool, but when it came to it was cool in like um, the limited format and maybe even Commander. But when it came to things like Standard or other formats like that, people were not keen on all the dice rolling. Very much akin to fetch lands. People love fetch lands. They take so much away from the game because you have to fetch and shuffle and yada yada yada, and people just don't like it. Uh, Often referred to as bad for gameplay. I don't think it's all that bad, but I can see where the people have their little spiels about it. So be it. With that said, the first thing we're going to look at here is how are the draft boosters actually doing. So if you look on here, it started off, it was easily around 146 when it first came out. Like I said, lots of hype, right? And then the market value got in there, stayed relatively the same average, maybe a $10 separation. Until about September of 2021, it really started going downhill once it actually got into the standard market. It says here the average is 117, but really market value is about 106. That's what you really try to keep track with. And as you look, it varies up and down, but it drops below 100 right around the end of November, December time after Midnight Hunt came out. Midnight Hunt was actually a pretty good set in my opinion. Crimson Vow was also a bad set that came out, and people didn't like it, causing more dips in the market. Keeping it around 100, around 98, and as it's been going, it's dropped down now with Neon Dynasty coming out from Kamigawa, which was a real big hit. It really got people away from wanting Forgotten Realm stuff. So it's down to about $93, it says. Here toward the end, it's up around 96, and that's about what you can buy it at. I know on here it's advertising a different stuff, but if you actually click on this stuff, $96 at the time of this video is what a draft box is going for. Um, which isn't terrible. I really think part of that is because the market did not absorb the cards very well. Um, People didn't like some of the mechanics, some people did. Unlike Neon Dynasty, people just didn't really get into it like everybody thought they would. When it first came out, everybody was into it, kept the market kind of high. But the longer it went, the more people didn't like the mechanics and what have you. So it is what it is, and this is eventually what you end up with. Now, $96 is still below $100 a box, which is performing much worse than the Neon Dynasty set. Uh, so this is back from when the cards were not doing well through that stretch of of D&D, um, Midnight Hunt, and Innistrad. Midnight Hunt did a little bit of a comeback for the sets, but to be honest, these three sets here of D&D and Midnight Hunt, basically the two Innistrad sets, really showed a down dip in all product across the board, not just of the boxes, but also the set boxes and collector boxes. Now, Neon Dynasty has really turned that around and started going back up, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll go over how it's doing, even though we already have had a video about the collector boxes. We'll actually have another video. We'll talk about the set and things like that. So here are the draft boxes, around $96. So not too shabby. So next here we'll look at our set boxes. So again, very high as it came out. Once it got into standard, you can see these set boxes dipped even lower than draft boxes, down to 91, 89. There's a thing here we got to 85. And as you can see, as these products came out of the Innistrad series, which were really not all that good, it really hurt the market overall, not just the series themselves. It's up around 96, but right now it's down to about 91. And I'm not going to lie, that's the actual, as of today, the actual market value of a set booster box is $91 for D&D. That's right, guys. It is $5 to $6 cheaper than a draft box. And that really gives a lot of people some mixed emotions. And I have those mixed emotions as well. And the reason for that, I'm going to be quite honest with you, is um, set boosters will always get you better payout than draft boosters. You know, you got the set, you got the list slot, which can give you extra stuff. Plus, you get extra rares. You're guaranteed a foil every pack. There's art cards, which are here and there. But the cool thing about the art cards in this set is some of them can actually be used to be played in D&D because they have stats on the back of them, which I thought was really cool. Um, so why is it cheaper? Well, to be honest, in this particular set, people like drafting it way better than cracking it because there's not a lot of cards that have a high amount of value. Um, so if they're gonna play it, they want draft boxes because they want to draft it. Therefore, there's a higher demand for the draft boxes than there are for the set boxes. And it's kind of inverted from what Wizards wants and what they expect, which again shows part of that market rejection we talked about and the market not absorbing the product like it should because of that. Now that's great that the draft boxes can be used for drafting. People like to play that, but even them being under $100 on average for sale is still not good for the product and shows bad market value. Now, with that said, you know it is what it is. I still stand behind. I think set boxes are better than draft boxes. Now, if you want to draft and do that stuff, obviously draft boxes are better. But if you want value or to get those cool cards or what have you, you know, plus with the list and everything else, the set boxes are really the place to go to get that stuff. And with this one, I thought it was really cool that the art cards actually had D&D stats on the back of some of them, so they actually could be used in the D&D format. I thought that was a bonus as well. However, apparently not as many people play D&D uh, as people thought that also play Magic. So it is what it is. Now, with that said, let's take a look at collector boosters. So we look at collector boosters here. You can see here they're 167. Actually, as of the filming of this video, or the recording of this video, the set booster or the collector booster boxes are about 172, which is still really cheap. As you can see here, when they first came out, they were really high, almost to 300, in anticipation once again of the D&D set and what it would be like, and then immediately started nosediving when the set come out, and just kept going down. It drops below the 200 mark to 191. It pretty much stayed there through the course, down to 170, and then the Innistrad happened where people didn't like any of the sets, so people just kind of stopped buying everything, driving all the prices down to the point now where it's saying the average market value is about 169. Like I said, at the filming of this video, market value for a box is 172. That is still amazingly cheap, and it's a lot lower than even pre-release prices. And we talked about that too. We talked about Kamigawa Neon Dynasty after Dungeons and Dragons was the start because it came off the heels of Modern Horizons 2 right here, which was an amazing set. And coming off the heels of that made it almost impossible to be a good set because Modern Horizons 2 was so good. I mean, come on, you've got fetch lands, you got Ragavan, you have all the elementals that you can pitch cards to. It was just a rock star set, still is. And then you put up Dungeons and Dragons after it, which is a replacement for a base set. It's just a recipe for disaster because everybody's gonna come down and see Dungeons and Dragons or a standard base set basically and be like, ew, this ain't cool. So, with that said, that kind of led to this whole three set debacle here. I really believe that how good Modern Horizons was, you know, it also followed up Time Spiral remasters. Like there were some really some hard hitting sets that then went into serious standard lockdown, and people just did not like that. So until we got the Neon Dynasty. Now, with that said, I know a lot of people don't like the Dungeons and Dragons thing. I personally think this is a great set to invest in. It's still in print. The collector boxes are only 172. I mean, that's cheaper than what I paid for them when I bought mine, which almost makes me sad on the inside. But that's the price you take sometime. I think this set will age well. Draft, set, and collector boosters. Again, this is a replacement for a core set, so I think it will go up slower than normal. But if you look back at the older core sets we have right now, like M19, 20, 21, those sets are actually, they first came out, they were bad, and they're now performing good. Speaking of which, maybe we should start covering that to give you guys a little enlightening look at what a core set can do after it comes out of rotation and people start liking it again. So, with that said, guys, at the end of the day, I think this is a good product. I would buy this product if you don't already have some invested to put into the closet. Again, this is going to be a product that's not going to age well for at least 2 to 3 years. So we're looking at a product that's got a 5 year shelf life, I think, before you're going to start seeing some big jumps in it. But I think when it does start going up, it's going to go up leaps and bounds because people are really going to like it. And I think the one thing that might drive this product up is, don't forget, Commander Legends 2, which is Baldur's Gate, is getting ready to come out for Commander, and it's going to probably have more uh, mechanics, just like Forgotten Realms, strictly for Commander, making those Commander decks easier to build with a dungeon mechanic. And that may really push this product out, or this product up, when that Commander Boulder Gate set comes out. So now I think it's the time to buy. If you think like I do, and you think Baldur Gate's going to be a great Commander set, like the first Commander Legends was, it's just going to make everything go up, especially with this product. So with all that said, guys, thanks a lot for your time. I really do appreciate it. Until next time, be kind, and as always, I hope to see you across from the game table.